Good afternoon, it's Wednesday, June 12, 2024. Peace is a path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, President Tinubu says National Assembly to get new minimum wage bill soon. River State government displays satisfactory copy of judgment on defected lawmakers as debate lingers. IGP orders deployment, warns against tampering with national grid. And on the foreign scene, dozens dead as fire engulfs Kuwait residential block. I'm Ifichu Kumoyela with the news. Now, President Bola Tinubu says his government will soon send an executive bill to the National Assembly to enshrine what has been agreed upon as the new minimum wage. The president stated this as a short while ago in a national broadcast to mark Nigeria's 25th anniversary of unbroken democracy. President Tinubu said when the organized labor called for a national strike over the new minimum wage, his government did not crack down on them, instead negotiated in good faith and with open arms with them on the request. He also stressed that the reforms that his administration has initiated are intended to create a stronger, better foundation for future growth.
We have negotiated in good faith and with open arms with organized labor on a new national minimum wage. We shall soon send an executive bill to the National Assembly to enshrine what has been agreed upon as part of our law for the next 5 years or less.
President Tinubu also charged Nigerians to continue to defend this democracy and merit, while applauding the country's heroes who helped to birth the democracy Nigeria now enjoys.
No matter how complicated democracy may be, it is the best form of governance in the long run. We must also be aware that there are those among us who will try to exploit current challenges to undermine, if not destroy, this democracy for which so much has already been given. This is the great battle of our day and the major reason we specially celebrate this day.
The address comes amid criticisms former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and his People's Democratic Party PDP had in their separate statement blamed President Tinubu for the current economic hardship in the country. Their statement warned that the reaction of hungry people is better imagined. The APC has responded to this. They faltered the criticisms. Meanwhile, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Ebonolowa Adeborua, has criticized President Bola Tinubu's recent June 12 Democracy Day speech, calling it a mere recounting of history without addressing the current issues. Speaking on Channels Television, Mr. Adeborua said the speech failed to tackle the pressing challenges affecting Nigeria's democracy. He said more is expected from President Tinubu, who was at the forefront of the democratic struggle and who now is at the helm of affairs. In the meantime, the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has called on Nigerians and political leaders to respect and protect the institutions of a democratic state by obeying the governing laws of the state and being accountable to the people. Mr. Obi, in a series of tweets on X today, said democracy is beyond elections, but fulfilling the responsibilities of responsible governance as contained in the Constitution. Still on this, Nigerians have been reflecting on the country's 25 years of democracy. Our correspondent caught up with some residents of Port Harcourt as they regret their struggles with the current rising cost of living despite the democratic experience. Others express hope for a better Nigeria.
People don't have a say in the policies, the activities of the government, and when they react, the government sees them as anti-democratic. And over time, we've seen successive government run policies, actions that are anti-people. We are still struggling to implement minimum wage for the benefit of people who run the economy, who see the survivability of Nigeria as an entity.
With the current state of things, when you protest, you're being locked up or harassed by any armed force. The way the government is going, I don't think there are any hopes. They say it is renewed hope, but I'm seeing renewed hopelessness. more young people will show interest, and if we want young people to participate in the democratic process, we have to also create that enabling environment for young people to participate. The fact is that we are not going to wait for government to create that enabling environment. Now, young people we need to start forming ourselves as consortium movements. So as long as we fold our hands and we keep going to the mountains and rivers to pray, 21 days fasting and prayer, and expecting a miracle, and we don't take action, we don't demand for good governance, nothing will change.
Mr. Adeshuloro also said some youth are not demanding accountability from the government because some of them have turned to illegitimate means for survival.
One of the reasons why it's also difficult for young people to also demand is that how many young people do legitimate things. A lot of young people, ladies and guys, are into a lot of illegitimate activities. So when they already have other ways to illegitimacy, they don't care. But I pray we'll have leaders who can be selfless, and we'll have young people who can take the bull by the horn and demand good governance.
Now, schools, banks and public offices were not open today as the federal government declared today a public holiday to mark Democracy Day. A parade held this morning at Eagle Square in Abuja to mark the day. The federal government started activities to mark the day with a
party, PDP, and is hereby joined as the fourth defendant. That the claimant's case and is hereby dismissed for lacking in merit. Contrary to the first claim, the court did not make a declaration that Matsamewule and principals of the Rivers House Assembly and the People's Democratic Party
filed by higher city and the lookers vetting the lawyers and said that they are still members of the PDP. In the development, the Attorney General of the 36 states have filed an objection to the Supreme Court by the Commissioner for Justice General of Justice Lateef Fagbemi is scheduled to begin on Thursday. The federal government is seeking full autonomy for local government councils, alleging misconduct in the administration. And now, the wage in place to prevent any breakdown of law and order and protect key infrastructures. He said it is a criminal offense to tamper with the national grid or disrupt the transmission of electricity. In entertainment, Nigerian singer Davido and his partner Chioma Rowland were tied in a video shared by UK-based Nigerian pastor Tobi Adeboyega. An excited Davido could be heard inviting people to the wedding. In sports, Erik ten Hag will remain as manager of Manchester United following a post-season review by the club's board. It is understood they are now talking to ten Hag about extending his contract, which is about to enter its final season.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
At least 35 people have been killed in a fire at a residential building in the Kuwait city of Mangaf. Video shared on social media showed flames engulfing the lower part of the building and thick black smoke billowing from the upper floors. The Interior Ministry said at least another 15 people were injured and taken to hospital. Many of the casualties are said to be foreign workers who lived there.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. President Tinubu says the National Assembly will get the new minimum wage bill soon. Rivers State government has displayed the certified true copy of the judgment on defected lawmakers as debate lingers. IGP has ordered the deployment of personnel and has warned against tampering with the national grid. And on the foreign scene, at least 35 people have died after a fire engulfed a residential building in Kuwait. The news was edited by Martha Okerinkem. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyele. Many thanks for listening.